The president of El Salvador on Friday, when they noticed that the price was dipping, decided to go ahead and launch another buy order. The country of El Salvador has bought 100 Bitcoin during the price dip. Quite literally, we were watching a nation state buy the dip. Absolutely incredible. And not only did he go and he buy the dip, but then he tweeted it. So he is essentially mocking or poking the bear, saying El Salvador just bought the dip, 100 extra coins acquired with a discount. Little celebration emoji, hashtag Bitcoin. Now, when we see this, he was buying somewhere around $54,000, $55,000. To remember, El Salvador now owns 1,220 Bitcoin altogether. That is a pretty material position as the price of Bitcoin continues to rise. Now, they are not just buying Bitcoin. The country of El Salvador continues to also do a number of other things around Bitcoin. They've got the Chivo wallet that they've built. They've got a network of about 200 ATMs that they've installed all around the country. They are onboarding now over 50% of their 6.5 million citizens have actually downloaded the Chivo wallet and have Bitcoin sitting in there. On top of that, they also have built a mining facility in one of their power generations where there is use of volcano energy or geothermal energy. And then on top of that, they made it legal tender in the country. They continue to do all sorts of crazy stuff that ends up being pretty positive for the country. But more importantly is they just announced Bitcoin City. Now, what is Bitcoin City? They are going to build an entire city based on Bitcoin. And what that looks like is it is going to be built on their land. They will have no income, property, capital gains, or payroll taxes. And in order to help fund some of this, they are issuing a $1 billion Bitcoin-backed bond. What that looks like is they will basically raise $1 billion. They will take half of it, $500 million. They will buy Bitcoin. The other half will be used to build infrastructure, Bitcoin mining, and other types of things. And then over time, they will pay bond holders a 6.5% yield plus a special Bitcoin dividend as they sell the Bitcoin in the future. This is absolutely incredible because not only are we watching them do very innovative things like Bitcoin City or Bitcoin-backed bonds, not only are we watching them make it legal tender and build out things like Chivo and the ATM network, but on top of that, they continue to buy more Bitcoin. And when the price drops, Nayib Bukele is there to buy the dip. And of course, he understands the internet, he understands memes, and he's firing off this one saying, hey, if you guys got stonks, I got Bitcoin. It's pretty cool. What'd you guys think when you saw him just firing tweets off saying that they bought another 100 Bitcoin on the dip?
I mean, it's not surprising, right? They're clearly all in at this point. There's a number of different things that they could do, I guess, that would accelerate this plan. But at this point, I think everyone is very clear what their conviction is regarding the asset and their ability and willingness to implement it kind of within their economy. So, yeah, look, I mean, he's done this before. Every time he keeps tweeting it out, he knows how the internet is going to react. He knows it's kind of just free marketing to him at some point, especially with the price appreciating. And what we've seen has been tremendous for them as a country, right? You mentioned it previously. Over 50% of their citizens, more people in their country now have digital wallets, Bitcoin wallets, than they have traditional bank accounts, which I think is fascinating, right? Especially in the short period of time. It's only been a few months. Hasn't even been a year yet since they rolled this program out. It's been 3 or 4 months, whatever it is, right? So the adoption has been really good and strong. And I think part of that was obviously aided by their willingness to give away, I think it was $30 in Bitcoin or whatever it is, right? But that's a small incentive to onboard millions of people to your app, right? And you've said this previously, but if a technology company was to do that, their valuation would be $1 billion worth already, right? Because of that ability to quickly scale up. And we're seeing that aggressively within El Salvador. So I think whether you agree with kind of their approach, it's a fascinating case study. And I think you at least have to appreciate the conviction that they're giving this and just saying, hey, screw it, we're going all in. This is our kind of standpoint on this. And what we've seen is any technology like this that ends up working out, not only does it have strong network effects, but the first kind of people who go all in, the Michael Saylors, the people who adapt these technologies and say, hey, we're going to transform everything we do and we're going to go for this. Those are the people who benefit the most from these things. So I think it'll be fascinating to see as Bitcoin continues to evolve and continues to get global adoption, continues to increase in price and all of that kind of stuff, where this puts El Salvador kind of on the rankings of countries throughout the world, right? Because they're very low from a kind of a however you look at it from an economic perspective right now. And I think this has the chance outside of everything that they've ever done to really move them further up that list.
John, what do you think?
The El Salvadorians, I think is how you say that.
Salvadorians, yeah.
Salvadorians. The Salvadorians that have held Bitcoin since September 7th when they kind of released this whole project after making it legal tender are up 20%. on their investment, on their asset, and they've never seen appreciation like that. It's amazing to see, and him buying the dip is not surprising at all to me. I think he'll continue to do this. He's clearly going all in with Bitcoin City and other things that he's been able to implement in his country. And look, he understands the internet, and this is the game that I think we're going to see play out over the next 20 years. Is how many politicians, how many countries, how many companies go more into the marketing that the internet and social media can provide, because it's a massive network of people that you reach globally rather than a billboard on the side of the street. It makes absolute 100% sense that he's buying the dip based on his conviction, based on what he's done in the past. And I can see him just continuing to double down again and again. And that's what I think we'll see.
The piece of this that's I continue to say is that when he does this, he's plugging his country into the Bitcoin network, right? By doing a kind of very robust total strategy, not just, hey, we're going to buy Bitcoin, not just saying, hey, we're going to build the ATMs, not just saying, hey, we're going to make it legal tender. By doing all of it, he is literally taking an entire nation state and he's plugging it into the Bitcoin network. When he plugs his nation state into the Bitcoin network, he is hiring millions of people around the world to go to work for him. They're cheering for his success. They're building software for him. They're building infrastructure. They're securing his money. They're going ahead and they're actually visiting his country. They're trying to help build things. They're going to buy his bonds. He's literally plugging the entire nation state into the Bitcoin network. And I think what we're going to watch and see is that over a long period of time, 20, 30 years, we're going to look back and say that strategy ended up being incredibly valuable for the people who went ahead and did it. Agree?
Completely agree.
Yeah, Joe, you agree too?
Yeah, I agree. I think the most important point is from a citizen's perspective, right? And for the first time in their entire lives, no matter how old they are seeing their purchasing power appreciate for the first time, right? And I think that's a massive point, because everyone wants to point to, oh, Bitcoin went down 2% today or 5% today. How would it feel to see your wealth diminish like that in a day? But when you zoom out and you look at when they started adopting this standard and where we are today versus where we might be in 5, 10, 15 years as this continues to get adopted globally with a finite constrained supply, you start to really understand, wow, this could really change the lives of a lot of people in their country.
Well, I'd be interested to see what country does in Venezuela, right? Other countries that are experiencing hyperinflation, when do they plug into the Bitcoin network? When you see something like this happen, it's a no-brainer for other countries to explore it and then take action on it.
I'm shocked that Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Turkey, one of these countries that's really, really struggling right now, they don't just print a ton and go buy Bitcoin in the market. Like, the speculative attack on it would not
see Venezuela knocking six zeros off their currency, right?